Before going, you watch a lot of YouTube videos, you see photos online, and people tell you how amazing Japan is. And I remember thinking, okay, it looks great, but let's see what it actually is like in person. Hey, so we just got back from Japan, and I wanted to talk a little bit about our trip because, we're still thinking about it. It was our first time visiting Japan, and what an experience. It lived up to all the hype. The first thing that really stood out to us was just how clean everything was. Not just clean, but spotless. Everywhere we went, whether it was the streets, train stations, shopping areas, everything was so well maintained. And when there were people, everybody was so polite and respectful. You notice it almost immediately. We stayed at the Kanzashi Hotel in Asakusa, and that ended up being the perfect home base for us. Great location, comfortable room, friendly staff, and it was so close to a lot of places we wanted to visit. One thing we found ourselves doing almost every day was stopping by Eloise Cafe. We'd go there in the morning for breakfast before heading out, and then sometimes, later in the day we'd stop back for coffee or a snack. One of the first places we explored was Sensō-ji Temple, and I don't know what it is about that area, but there's just a really nice feeling when you're there. There's a lot of people around, but it doesn't feel overwhelming. I mean, you're walking through centuries of history there, while surrounded by modern Tokyo, and that's something I really loved about Japan in general. It felt like old and new, at the same time. I don't know if that makes any sense. While we were there, we decided to take a rickshaw ride to Asakusa. Now, I'll be the first one to admit that I wasn't sure about the rickshaw ride. I was thinking it's going to be just one of those tourist things, but I'm glad we did. We had two guides, two rickshaws.
Next time we stay in your house.
Oh, yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah. For free. For free. Yeah, Mickey house. Mickey house. He's a Mickey. Please look at this one.
They were telling us stories, pointing out things we would have walked right past. Taking photos for us and giving us a different perspective of the neighborhood. Looking back, it ended up being one of the most memorable things we did during the trip, actually.
And make break and one back.
Yeah, we remember when we passed.
Yeah.
Oh, they were clapping.
Did you see it?
Yeah,
And
clapping.
then they bow, and then we said, why are they clapping?
Yeah, so two bow.
Remember that?
No,
And
last
two
night.
claps.
Yeah, two claps.
Yes, as much as you can. Yeah. To call the gods.
To call the god.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're ever there, I definitely recommend doing at least the 45-minute tour, maybe even the hour-long one. It's worth it. There was a lot of things to see. And then there was the Tokyo Skytree. Man, you really don't understand how massive Tokyo is until you're standing up there looking out over the entire city. I remember just standing there by the window, looking around and thinking, this city just keeps going. Every direction you looked, there were buildings stretching out as far as you could see. So we spent some time up there at the coffee and bar area too. Pretty cool, sitting there with a drink and looking out over Tokyo from that height is one of those moments where you just kind of stop and appreciate where you are. Right around that area is Nakamise Shopping Street, and we spent quite a bit of time walking through there. We actually had no choice, the hotel was right there. There's so many shops, snacks, souvenirs, gifts, and things to look at. Then we headed over to Shinjuku. Now that place is just on another level. The lights, the crowds, the energy, there was always something happening. Everywhere you look, there's another giant screen, another restaurant, another shop. It's like a scene from Blade Runner. It almost feels like sensory overload in the best possible way.
Is this it?
We spent some time in Shibuya, and yes, we finally got to see Shibuya Crossing in person. It's funny because you've seen it in movies, videos so many times, but when you're actually standing there watching thousands of people crossing at once. It's pretty impressive. We also got to see the giant 3D cat. I know it sounds silly, but it was actually pretty cool seeing it in person.
And we have a rooftop on the fourth.
A rooftop, fourth
a
floor.
rooftop.
Oh, okay.
But there's no mount. You don't see the Mount Fuji, right?
Not today.
Not
Not
today.
today.
One of the days we were really looking forward to was our trip to Mount Fuji. And thankfully the weather cooperated. We couldn't really see when we got there. We got to Lawson and we only see the summit. It was a bit cloudy, but later on, as soon as we decided to leave, the clouds cleared up and there appeared Mount Fuji. And then when it came into view, everybody got excited. It's one of those landmarks that you've seen your whole life in pictures, and then suddenly it's right there in front of you. It's hard to describe, but it was definitely one of those highlights of the trip. And yes, we stopped by the famous Lawson convenience store with Mount Fuji in the background. We couldn't see it at first, but later on it finally appeared. You kind of have to go there. You know, at this point, it's almost a rite of passage for tourists visiting the area. We got our photos, looked around, grabbed a few things, and just enjoyed the moment. We also had one of the best meals of the trip while we were there. We ordered eel, raw salmon. I hadn't had sashimi in a long time, but you know, in Japan, it's another level. Everything tasted incredibly fresh. When I think about this trip, it isn't just one specific place that stands out. It's all the little moments, walking through neighborhoods, stopping for coffee, getting lost for a few minutes, and finding something unexpected. Watching people go about their day, taking train rides, trying new foods, and just experiencing a culture that's so different from what we're used to. Japan was everything we hoped it would be and more. We had an amazing time, made some great memories as a family, and I can already tell we're going to be talking about the trip for years. And the funny thing is, before we even got on the plane back to Manila, we were already saying we need to come back because there are still so many places we didn't get to. So yeah, if you've ever thought about visiting Japan, I can definitely say it's worth it. We absolutely loved it, and hopefully this won't be our last trip there. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.